Alright, I want to know if you had any slip-ups while getting into character. I mean, sometimes you can be like thinking, oh, well, I have to do pink tie, and then be like, crap.
Are you asking me if I have?
If I had any slip-ups while trying to get into character with your voice.
Oh, so not outtakes, but have I ever started to do the voice? And in voiceover, they call that you're not on voice, is what, and that does happen to me very rarely, because usually what they'll do is keep what's called a vocal reference. They'll say a vocal ref, and when I go to work, I'll say, "Can I have a vocal ref?" And they have a file and they play it, and usually the second I hear it, I instantaneously get it. Now Goku's a different story because I've played the character for so long. I haven't needed a vocal ref in many, many years, but when I'm doing like a bunch of voices around Manhattan, and I did this voice once 6 weeks ago, and I go, "Oh, we need a pickup line for it," they'll save a vocal ref, and if they don't have a vocal ref, they might go, "I don't think you're on voice, so we gotta, and so usually you'll have, most voice actors pick what's called a hook, or a line, or something they say that automatically gets into the voice. For me, it's always, "Hey, it's me, Goku!" Because that's like the happiest-go-lucky place, he is in, and that's where he needs to be for when he starts. And then from there I can do the other two emotions he has, which is either angry or happy. Pretty much. Yeah, but that's a very good question, and there are techniques voice actors use to get into character. And sometimes getting into character is, you have to get to the emotional state of it. I played a character called Rio in Shaman King. You guys ever watch Shaman King?
Yes.
I played Rio and a Midamaru, and I had to play Midamaru and the Rio, and I had to do the Spanish, and so I was trying to do this Spanish Antonio Banderas type of, so my reference was Antonio Banderas and Ricardo Montalban mixed with Chris Kattan from Saturday Night Live doing this is the Antonio Banderas, how you say, "Ah, yes," show. So I'd go and I go, "This is the Antonio Banderas, how you say, ah, yes, show." And then I was ready to play Rio. And then his hook was, "When you ask for a piece of Rio, you get the whole pie." So I actually had vision problems because I always wanted to squint when I was doing it. And for weeks and weeks of doing it, I was starting to squint too much and I was getting headaches. And so there's different hooks with those kinds of characters, you know what I'm saying. So I hope that's close enough for you guys are experts of the Spanish accent, I'm sure. So, because you speak the language. So I hope I did a good job. I hope you guys were, that's a crappy Spanish accent. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about. You always want to do it right, So yes, you, Mr. Clean. I'm teasing you. I'm teasing you, buddy.
What was your inspiration in becoming a voice actor?
What's your inspiration in becoming a voice actor?
Accidentally? Here's the weird thing about it, and this is advice I can give to young people, I hope, is that sometimes you find out what you are in life after you're there in life and you didn't realize you wanted to be that until you got it. So some people grow up and they're little kids and they're like, "I'm gonna be an astronaut," then they go be an astronaut. Or, "I'm gonna be a lawyer," and they go be a lawyer. Or, "I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna, I don't know, run a company," or whatever, and they go do it. And when I was a kid, I wanted to be a professional French hornist. And I had basically almost kind of a weird vision, and I decided to go do that, and that's what I was gonna do. But I didn't know that really my destiny lied in voice acting until the first day I got in Dragon Ball Z, because when I was a little boy, I naturally always was doing voices. I was very naturally interested in the way people talk and how they talk, and in fact I love the way you were talking just now was very interesting to me. I love your accent. You have a very wonderful sounding, right away I'm hooked into it, so I like the way you talk. I really do. It's very unique. When people don't have a unique way of talking, it's fine, I just get bored. I mean, not with the person, but I'm just like, okay. And I can't do impressions of people who don't, it's hard for me to do impressions of people who don't have a hook, is what I call it. A unique raspiness, or a way of saying words, or a funny inflection, or a unique way of talking. So as a boy, I would get bored with black and white television, 1950s movies, and I'd turn on the volume, and I would just make up voices and make them talk on the fly. Or I would look in rock and roll magazines, and you'd have the singer doing this, and the guitar player doing this, and I would sit with my brother and I go, "That guy looks like he talks like this," and then I'd do a voice. "And that guy looks like he talks like," and I would just do it over and over as a little boy. So I'm doing this my whole life, and then as I got into high school and college, I would go to parties and I would do impressions. I'd do Popeye, like, "Pull me down," I'm doing Popeye, or, "Hello, this is Charles Grover," I was doing, and so my friends would be like, they would say, "Do an impression of Popeye doing Grover," and they'd take me to a party and see how many impressions I could do. Now, the reason I'm telling you this long story is because this all culminated in leading up to when I got Dragon Ball Z, right? So I'm doing voices all the time, doing impersonations. It's just a fun thing to me. Very briefly, I did stand-up comedy where I would do like Arnold Schwarzenegger talking or something. You know, yeah, what the hell, you know? Like, I would do impersonations, right? And then, that's so funny, they laugh. I'm like, oh, that's great, yeah, but I'm gonna go be a French horn player. You know, I'm gonna go play in orchestras. I'm gonna teach my students. I had students, you know. And so when the Dragon Ball Z audition came up, I had already been training for like 20 years without realizing it. For, you know, I was 29, 30, I guess. 20, 30, 25 years. I'd been doing it all the time. It's just something fun to do. I loved it, right? So then I get to the audition, and before I audition, my friend's like, "You got to audition for this." And I'm like, I don't want to audition. I want to play a French horn. They go, "No, you need to audition." I go, "No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it." That Dragon Ball Z audition was way easier than any it was so easy. I remember walking to that going, this is a piece of cake. Because I had been training as a musician for 10 years before that, and voice acting is all melody and music for me. So to all the audio training, like when I had to do the audition, to me the mouth flaps were the conductor and the lines were the music, and it all just clicked right that. And so what happened was, and I'm going to go back to my original thesis statement, which is sometimes you end up realizing your destiny before you get it. And so when I first stepped into the booth, I thought being a horn player was the greatest thing I'd ever done. And when I stepped into the booth, I felt like I'd come home. I really did. And I was like, this is where I'm meant to be, and this is what I'm going to do. And it was the greatest, it still is the greatest feeling in the world. I've been doing it since my first voice acting job was Dragon Ball Z in 1999. And I've done about 70 different characters on about 30 or so different shows since then. And I love it. And the second I stop loving it, I'll do something else. But that's kind of how I get my inspiration. But the point is, of all the stories that you might think you want to be a lawyer, and you might think you want to be a doctor, or whatever it is you want to be, and go ahead, fine, if you want to go do that. And if you're miserable, it's probably a good sign that you shouldn't be doing it. If you're doing it because your parents want you to. But the second you find that thing that lights up your head so much, you're almost addicted to it, unless it's something bad for you. That's the thing that you want to be doing. And that's my advice. That thing that lights you up, because when I go to work, I don't go to work. I go to fun every day.
To Funland.
What?
To Funland.
Oh, what did you say? Funland. Funland. Sweet. So that's the long answer, which I tend to give. Let's see. Let's get somebody.